Welcome to our Japan video. We went to Japan in the last week of August to the midweek of September in 2025. Day 1 in Tokyo, we did Harajuku area, visiting the Meiji Shrine, which was beautiful, Yoyogi Park, which was too much walking and under renovation. Maybe it's only worth it in the blossom season. Right next to the station was Takeshita Street, where we had the best bubble tea with the freshest tapioca. We then travelled out of our way to Ibizu for shosei udon noodles with mash, which was delicious and not busy. Then we went to the Shibuya area, Ruru Cafe, which was a perfect introduction to matcha. Shibuya Sky was booked for 1:30. After that, we went to the Share Lounge, where you pay $17 for 1 hour of unlimited snacks with a view over the crossing. This place had much hype on socials. The food wasn't great, but it was a different experience. We then went to the Metropolitan Government Building, which was free entry, and afterwards we laid on the grass for the light show. Little did we know that that would be one of the highlights of our trip, because there are not many places to rest in Tokyo. We truly destroyed our legs and feet on the first day. We had a mouth-watering barbecue wagyu on Memory Lane in a 6-seat restaurant. Day 2, we went to Osaka. We spent around 4 hours exploring the area and trying some delicious snacks along the way. Then we headed to Ueno Park. The park had a huge lily pond and another pond with paddle boats. Unfortunately, the boat's operators said it was too hot and not safe to go out for a paddle that day. It was a little too much walking for us, but there was a lot of great shopping in a street right next to the station. We then headed to Skytree for our 5:30 booking. We got a sunset and a little bit of lightning as well. On day 3, the first thing we did was go down to hotel reception and organise our luggage transfer for the next day to Kyoto. This was an overnight service, and we packed only what we needed for our one-night stay at Mount Fuji in between. We started the day at Imperial Palace Gardens. Again, like the other garden parks, it's too large and too much walking for, personally, what it's worth for me. There was one beautiful garden, but it was not near the entrance we entered, so we ended up doing a lot of walking. We spent about 1.5 to 2 hours here. Next on our list was Hei Shrine. To save our feet, we caught a taxi. We quickly stopped by Tokyo Tower before heading to Team Lab Borderless for our 2 p.m. booking. In that building, there was a number of restaurants. We just picked one and had the best tonkatsu. We spent around 2 hours in Team Labs, including our pre-booked tea room. It was a good concept, but it was just a very large room with long tables. We then spent the evening in Ginza. We had a coffee and cake at the Louis Vuitton Cafe and a Ginza sand sandwich. After 4 nights in Tokyo, it was time to move on. We pre-booked the highway bus for 8 a.m. from Shinjuku bus station to Kawaguchiko station, which took approximately 2 hours. Once we arrived, we went straight to the visitor centre to buy a 2-day bus pass, which also included the ropeway and a lake boat scenic ride. We went to Oishi Park. It was a little cloudy, but we saw the peak of Mount Fuji. Don't miss the delicious soft serve. I recommend the lavender. We checked into our hotel and the view was just simply amazing. The clouds cleared by late afternoon, so we jumped on the ropeway at 4 p.m. and then on the 5 p.m. boat ride. The views remained great all evening. Then, back at the hotel, we relaxed in the onsen, which wasn't busy at all, and timing was perfect as the sun was setting. We tried to get dinner at the hotel, but apparently they could not accommodate us as we hadn't pre-booked the dinner package with our room rate. We walked down the street. There was limited options and unappealing options. We checked Uber, but it was expensive to get back to Kawaguchiko station at that time. We settled for a nearby hotel's buffet, which was expensive, more so for non-guests, and it wasn't great at all. My recommendation would be to grab a bento box and snacks from the Lawsons earlier in the day and bring it back to your hotel. We woke to clear skies and a full view of Mount Fuji. Breakfast was included at the hotel. When we left the hotel, we left our backpacks in the station lockers and headed to Chirita Pagoda by 10 a.m. The views were incredible and it wasn't that busy at all. I guess not many people want to hike 300 stairs in 35-degree heat. We then walked past Honcho Street, but by 11:30 the clouds came in and we didn't see Mount Fuji again. As the train back to Kawaguchiko stopped by Fuji-Q Highland, we thought we'd stop there for one ride and lunch. Entry was free and we paid $20 each to ride the Eigenager, which was absolutely insane with a wait time of around 1 hour. We left the park at 2 p.m. for our pre-booked 4 p.m. bus to Mishima from Kawaguchiko Station. From Mishima, we were on our 6:22 Shinkansen to Kyoto, which we had already pre-booked. I also highly recommend the green car. It was around $50 more than regular class, and it was so comfortable and quiet. On our first day in Kyoto, we arrived in Arashiyama at 9 a.m. We walked to the bamboo forest first. Crowds were not too bad, the benefit of being 36 degrees. We then went through the gardens at Tenryuji Temple. Arashiyama was more than I expected. We then strolled through the long street of shops and restaurants, had some street snacks while heading to the station for our pre-booked 12 p.m. Sagano romantic train and Hosogawa river cruise. There was nothing romantic about the train. It was narrow, hard timber seats. We were all squashed in the heat, covering our ears as the squealing wheels echoed through the tunnels. We then had to hop on a bus and it was a decent 25-minute bus ride to the start of the boat location. We hopped on a boat by 1 p.m. The ride was an hour and 45 minutes, which was way too long. Our backs and butts were so sore from the uncomfortable timber bench. However, the scenery was absolutely magnificent. It was just a little too long. After lunch, we left Arashiyama and arrived at the Golden Temple by 4:15. In the evening, we walked around Nishiki Market, Teramachi Shopping Arcade, Yasaka Shrine and Pontocho Alley. Our second day in Kyoto, we took the bus and arrived at the bottom of the street to walk up to Kiyomizu-dera Temple by 10 a.m. Was not what we expected. We really enjoyed walking the street with some shopping and yummy snacks along the way. After looking around the temple and enjoying views over Kyoto, we walked around the traditional streets of Sanenzaka and Ninenzaka streets, stopped at Matcha House and saw Yasaka Pagoda. We then took an Uber to Kodaiji Temple and Bamboo Grove by midday, and then Tenjuan Temple. We really enjoyed both of these temples with their beautiful gardens and buildings. By 2:30, we arrived at Fushimi Inari. The start point was extremely busy, but after walking 10 minutes, there was only a few people around, and after 20 minutes, we were almost by ourselves. We went back to our hotel before 5 p.m. to catch their complimentary afternoon tea. After a refreshing break, we headed back out to the city centre for some evening shopping. After our 3-night stay, we dropped our bags at hotel reception to be transferred and we jumped on our pre-booked 10:55 Ionyoshi train to Nara. This train was so beautiful. We strolled through the deer park, patting some deer along the way to Todaiji Temple. We decided not to buy any food after seeing videos of other people getting harassed and attacked by deer. We admired the old wooden gate entrance, but we didn't go inside. We then walked up the extremely long but interesting pathway to Kasuga Taisha Shrine. Again, we admired the building from the outside and didn't go in. I have since seen videos on the inside of both of these temples. I'm not sure why we didn't go in, but I wish we had of. We went down the same long path back towards the station. I'm not sure if there was a different way, but it was a really long walk. Unfortunately, the famous pounded mochi shop was closed that day, and we were on the train headed to Osaka by 2:45 p.m. We had a quick walk through Dotonbori area on the way to our hotel. After a bit of a rest, we headed to our pre-booked Team Lab Botanic Garden for 7 p.m. It was a bit out of the way, and for the number of exhibits and the main one out of order, we didn't really think it was worth it. For our first full day in Osaka, we purchased the Osaka Amazing Pass for $35 each. Arriving at Osaka Castle at 10:30, we admired the castle and the surrounds, but we didn't go inside as it was a really long lineup. We took the boat ride around the castle moat, which was included in our pass. We then headed to Sumiyoshi Taisha Shrine. I'm not sure how this made it on our list. It was out of the way, but it did have a cool bridge. We then went to Shitanoji Temple. This was also included in our pass. You can climb the stairs to the top of the pagoda here. By 2 p.m, we wandered through the Shinsekai Retro District and Sutenkaku Tower. Both the tower top view and the tower slide were included in our pass. We were going to do both. The line for the slide was much shorter, so we decided to do that first. After we got back down, we decided not to go to the very top as the line was still long and it moved very slow as there was only one very, very small elevator. Not many people were able to go up at one time. The district looked like it would be cool at night time, but we were headed to the HEP 5 building to go on the Ferris wheel, which was also included in the pass. You can connect your Bluetooth in your pod and listen to your own music. That was a cool feature. We then went to the Umeda Sky building. We didn't read the fine print that the pass was only valid before 3 p.m. We took the escalator up to the entry point but decided not to pay for entry at the very top as we already saw Osaka view from the Ferris wheel. So we headed back to Dotonbori, which ended up being better as it was perfect timing for an amazing sunset while we took the boat ride, which was also included in our pass. All of the day's activities, including subway transportation, added up to the value of $80, saving us $45 each for the day. Our second day in Osaka, we went to Universal Studios Japan. We pre-booked our tickets and express passes 2 months in advance. We arrived at 8 a.m. and didn't wait long to get in. We had the Express 7 pass and we did 11 rides in 8 hours. Mario Kart was so cool and Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey was the best. The next day, we took a day trip to Hiroshima. This was the only transport that we did not pre-book as we needed a sleep in. When we got to the station, we simply booked the next Shinkansen that was arriving via the SmartX app. We took the regular class and arrived at 11 a.m. We took around 2 hours to wander around the Peace Memorial Park and the museum. We had okonomiyaki at a nearby restaurant and then headed to Shukkien Garden, which was beautiful. I would say my favourite garden of this trip. We then walked to Hiroshima Castle. As we missed Osaka Castle on the inside, we decided to go inside Hiroshima Castle. There were some interesting facts and displays and a great view from the top. we headed back to the station via taxi as it was just after 5 p.m. After 4 nights in Osaka, the next day we were on our pre-book 12:30 Shinkansen back towards Tokyo. We arrived at Maihama Station around 3:30 p.m. We purchased a 4-day monorail pass, checked in to the Toy Story Hotel. We had a view over the parks and could also see Skytree. We sorted out our vacation package tickets, and then we had a look around the Bon Voyage store and Ikspiari shopping mall. I've included some highlights of our 4 days in Disney, but I'm also going to post a separate full video on Disney. On the 5th day, we did some last minute shopping at Ikspiari shopping mall. However, there's not much in the way of pharmacy for cosmetics or donkey style souvenir shops. We took the 3:30 pre-book airport limousine bus for our 8 p.m. flight home, which was more than enough time. Anytime I have mentioned pre-booking, we decided to book all of our transport and other activities on official websites. I found the prices to be quite similar to other websites, but on the official website, I found better cancellation policies and flexibilities in case you needed to change your time slot. Any prices that I have quoted are approximate Australian dollars. Over 17 days, we spent a total of around $1,800 on food and around $2,000 on transport and $700 on activities and entry fees, not including Universal Studios or Disneyland. We spent 67,000 yen cash, which was around 5% of our total spending. So 95% of our total trip was on our credit card, and we had no issues with using our credit cards. I hope you have enjoyed this video and found some helpful ideas and tips. Safe travels to you all. Bye.